Lots of my followers already, they seen these boards on my video making the amplifier. So after I had my working bench original Krell KSA 100 and I repaired it and I like it how it sounds, I decided to replicate this schematic and design my own PCB board. And I can see this is how looks my own design PCB board, and I promise that I'm gonna build a full amplifier on this schematic. So recently I received this case, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna fit everything inside. And this is how looks the real size of the one side heatsink, where it will gonna sit one channel. And I already pre-drill because it's very hard to film this process. One, because I don't have a workshop dedicated on this hard-working drilling or tapping of these things available, and I needed to do everything in this room, and I make a really mess. But I hope everything matching perfectly, because remember, I did everything hand drilling, not press drilling or this big machinery that can help me to do much easy this job. And in this video we're gonna go to install the boards, everything over here, applying the right thermal paste, the good insulation ceramic pads, and also adding the rectifier bridge over here. And before starting with this video, let me give a shout out to SOLID SOLUTION TECHNOLOGY LLC. SOLID SOLUTION TECHNOLOGY LLC is a company distributor of servers, workstation, commercial desktop, monitors, commercial laptops, and IT accessories. They are doing also gamings, if you are interested on, and if you are a reseller or you want to have best performance for your office, look no further than SOLID SOLUTION TECHNOLOGY LLC. If you are interested in what they are doing, check the link on the description down below, get a code, and be in touch with them. Now, let's go back to our video. So you can see I already pre-drilled both of the heat sinks. Everything is ready to install. And we're gonna apply the right thermal paste, the right insulator for the transistors, and we're gonna apply also here some thermal paste, because this one they're gonna be very hot, because this one is power hungry. Avoid these scratches, because apparently when I opened the box, I saw that the box was opened by the custom. I think they check what's inside of the box. And without further ado, let's get started. This bag, I should have all the hardware that I need for this job. So all the screws, all the isolations. I'm gonna use this really good Maxtor thermal paste, which come in not a tube, come in a can like that. And they give you also this one to clean well before applying. And yeah, what do you think? We can start applying, better first cleaning, but I think I'm gonna use some alcohol and I'm gonna clean well this one, and then we're gonna apply some grease. I'm going to use a Kimtank wipe. Let's put first some alcohol around here. We can give a nice clean. All the way where the pads are coming. And we're gonna start applying some thermal paste first. This is our thermal paste, which looks quite good. So I don't think so we need to apply so much, because when we're gonna apply pressure on the transistors, definitely we're gonna spread this one really nice. So let me do a fast forward on doing this job. Now that all the thermal paste is applied, let's apply the insulator ceramic pads. Alright, so these are the insulated thermal pads, ceramic ones. So I'm going to put them over there. As I say, all this thermal paste will gonna be really nicely spread when the pressure will gonna be applied. Definitely is plenty over there. And we're gonna apply also thermal paste on the top of the ceramic insulators, and that we can make sure there is plenty thermal between the transistor and the heatsink. These one are the small ones that they're gonna sit over there. And there is 9 of them. There's 9 of them. Now, let's apply also in the top of these ones some thermal paste, because also the transistors, they need to be thermally coupled with the isolator. As I say, no need to be too much, because when you apply pressure on the transistor, all this thermal paste will gonna be spread all the way around the transistor, and definitely we're gonna do a good thermal contact. Oh, looks like I moved one over here. It needs to be really careful to don't put even too much and even too less, because if it's too less, the thermal conductivity will not be so much well, and if it's too much, we're gonna make a mess of dirt. So try always to apply the right amount, not too much and not even less. And now I need to be carefully when I putting the board to don't move these pads around, because it will gonna be a nightmare to fit the screws in and to make sure that the hole is aligned. So I have the screws already installed to the middle transistors over there that are in the middle of the PCB. I need to go carefully down, just literally slowly. Then I'm gonna try with this screwdriver just barely to catch them on the holes, and then I'm gonna get the right screwdriver to tighten them, because I don't want, because if this one they move out from them place, it's really hard to put them in. So I think that I am all of them just barely start tightening. I'm gonna get the screwdriver now, the right one, and I'm gonna start tightening more, and that I'm sure they will not lose from there. I'm not tightening all the way in, just make sure they will not escape from the right place. And then I'm gonna come to install all the other ones for these ones. So I'm going to do that job also now. Like that. I'm making sure that everything is aligned before tightening properly all of them in. Because if they're not aligned perfectly, then it's very hard to make sure that they are also electrically insulated from the heatsink, because they don't need to short each other, and also that they are very good thermal contact between the heatsink and the transistor. That's important because this amplifier, it's running really hot, and you need to make sure you are dissipating all that heat out from the transistors, because otherwise the transistor, they might make boom, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to happen that. All right, now first of all, I'm gonna make sure that this plastic insulation goes all the way inside the transistor without creating any problem to me when I go to tighten the screws. And maybe now I can start tightening them. That's a good tight. That's a good tight. Let me fast forward while I'm doing this tightening. And now that I'm sure that my drivers are really tight and have a good thermal connection, I'm not sure if electrical are isolated from the heatsink. I'm gonna measure at the end. Now let me install also the bolts and nuts for the power transistor, because I want this one to be really tight on the heatsink. So the power transistors are located here, and I have holes through between the fences over here that I can put a bolt and a nut over here. I'm gonna try to see if it's easy to put this one on camera, but I'm pretty sure all the way we're gonna be my head down, because I need to come with the head down to see where is the hole. Try to insert the screw in the bolt if my hands are not shaking. Try to manage to find the hole. Try to make sure the hole is going all the way through the transistor, and I can see I'm already struggling. I'm not sure where is the hole. Look like it's coming somewhere, but should come much easy, not that much hard. And at the end here I need to put a washer and a nut, and I don't know why it's not aligned perfectly, but should be. All right, so I have a washer that I need to put on that bolt. The washer goes in, and then I should have also a nut that should goes in, and I'm gonna help myself with this tool over here to hold the nut and tighten the screw. So I'm gonna do this process off camera, because I can see it's really hard to film this part, and I'm gonna come back with the video when I have all the screws inserted. So you can see the paste is really come out very nice, so it's spread really good to all the transistor. You can see there how it comes up also underneath of the pad, also underneath of the transistor, same as on this side. You can see here come both sides out, so this means they spread really good. And also the same for the small transistors. The paste come out underneath of the pod and between the pod and transistor, so definitely is a good thermal connection. So let me know in the comment down below if the thermal paste was enough, and if for you looks okay, all that spread that come out between the transistor and thermal paste and between the thermal pod and heatsink. Now that everything is tight in place, I have this spacer that I need to put underneath of the PCB board over here, and secure also the PCB good in place. Actually here I would like to use this why is not coming out? I like to use these washers that are electrically insulated, because I don't want to have anything connected to the heatsink, the ground from the PCB. Right, let's put all the spacers underneath over here, and same with these kind of washers that isolate the contacts between the, this is ground plate, and then I don't want the ground to be connected to the heatsink. And you're gonna see on the video series, because there are gonna be lots of them, because in this video we're gonna do only these heatsinks ready to with the PCB board and the rectifier bridge install it. And then we're gonna be more episodes when I'm gonna start working also on the big chassis to install the transformer, installing the power supply, the capacitors, and then once everything is installed, because I'm gonna install also EMI filter, soft start, and more things. And once we're gonna have all this ready, where my spacer gone? Once we're gonna have all this ready, then we're gonna start doing some soldering, connecting things, and testing to make sure that everything working good. So let's put the last spacer over here, which is this one, and that we are sure that also the PCB is staying in place good. Here I have same one screw and one this one isolator over here. We can tie the last screw. And yeah, that looks good. Now applying some thermal paste over here, and I need to install also this one over there, because also this one we're gonna dissipate some heat, because a lot of amps this amplifier is taking. So again, taking some thermal paste, the good one, the Maxtor CTG8, you can see there. If you are interested on any of these products that I use in this video, check the links in the description down below, because it's really good stuff. It's a really good stuff. And definitely, if you are doing amplifiers or computers and you need a good thermal paste, this one we're gonna do good. All right, now also here I have the same problem that we're gonna be very hard to film this one, because I need to come on my edge of the desk and put this one on and screw from the bottom. So same, I need to do this part also off camera, because really hard to film this part. And after a while I managed to finish both of the boards, installing and putting the thermal paste, and now it's time to do some measurements to make sure that everything is isolated from the heatsink. And I'm sure many of you, they were gonna ask, why need the transistor be isolated from the heatsink? Mostly people that they are fixing maybe laptops or computers, they are not having these things when are installing heat sinks and thermal paste. So on the amplifier, we know that the collectors is the plate that is tied to the heatsink. So I can see here an amplifier, we have one side of the collector which is the negative rail power supply and the other collector which is the positive rail. So imagine if this and this will not be isolated with a heatsink and his heatsink is the ground, you're gonna short out everything. So that's why you must check an amplifier to make sure that the transistor collector is isolated from the heatsink, because otherwise you're gonna create a short. So let's go further and check the continuity. So you can see we have a beep. Then you need to go to the collector, to every single transistor, make sure that there is no any. I can see with the screw we have continuity, but we don't need to have a continuity on this plate over here. So this one is isolated, this one is isolated, 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 isolated. Then we go to the collector of these transistors over here, isolated, 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 isolated. Now let's see the collectors of this power transistor. So same here, we're gonna have a beep on the screws, but make sure the collector will not have a beep. So there is no beep on this one, no beep on there, no beep on this one, no beep on this one, no beep on this one, and no beep on this one. So all this board is okay. Now let's make sure also the bridge rectifier is isolated from the heatsink. So I'm going to check all these connectors on the bridge rectifier and everything is isolated. So let's have a look if we have the same on both channels, because if there is any short, that will gonna be a problem. So from here to a screw, the beep there is. Let's see the collector, isolated, 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 isolated. With the screw they're gonna beep. Collector is isolated, collector is isolated, isolated, and isolated. Let's see the plates of this one, because the screw will gonna beep, but the plates, they don't need to beep. So isolated, 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 isolated. Let's see the collector from the inside transistor. Make sure that they're isolated. Okay, and let's see if this one also isolated completely. And then also let's do a ground, because at the ground I don't want to be connected to the heatsink. So ground on there is isolated, and ground on this one also isolated. So now I'm pretty sure that can be powered safely and there will not be any bang, any short that will gonna burn out something else. And I'm happy that I managed to reach on this point over here to have make sure that my left channel and right channel are already installed on the heat sinks. Next episode we're gonna be installing on the chassis the transformer, the capacitors, and I have a ME filter. I have a soft start board, and I have a speaker protection circuit that I need to put also in that case. So stay tuned, please subscribe, activate the notification bell to don't miss that part as well. And if I could do something better than what I did on this video, please let me know in the comments down below. And the only thing that I am a bit they are quite big heat sinks, they don't look too small. I hope that they were gonna be enough for this amplifier, because I say this amplifier running quite hot. Please let me know also in the comments down below what do you think. The heat sinks are quite big enough for this amplifier. And if anyone is interested on the thermal paste which I use for this project, I'm gonna leave a link on the description down below. For me it's first time to use it, but was recommended by another guy who is building amplifier, and he says that for him it's working really nice. So that's why I go for this one to try to see how it's work. And also if you are interested on the ceramic pads, I'm gonna leave link down below in the description also for those ones. And also if you are interested in all the tools and equipment which I use daily on all my working bench, and they are working really nice for me and never let me down, check all the links, maybe you find something for yourself as well. Until the next one, guys, have a good one and bye bye.